Well, hi. I just thought to do a little talk about my personal journey from homophobia away from that very bad problem. Homophobia is one of my pet peeves. It's one of the few things that actually does get me really, really worked up when I see in the world. I can't help it. I can't stand it, and but I haven't always been like that. And I thought I'd sort of go into the process with you a little bit, if I may. First of all, I wasn't really aware at all of homosexuality in any way until I suppose about 11 or 12, and that was because it was around that time that certain boys used to call me and other boys, homo or queer or faggot or whatever. Just generally speaking as a derogatory term, without actually being any kind of accusation about sexuality as such. But it was certainly something. When I found out what it meant, I was like really shocked because it never even occurred to me that guys would be with guys. And then I suppose for a few years I went through a period of I've never actually ever can recall feeling that guys being with guys is morally wrong, but I do remember thinking about sort of when I was younger, thinking about anal sex and going, that's where poo comes from, and all that kind of crap. You still hear people say shit like that now. But anyway, and I suppose I was like that for a few years, and then it started to fade away when I noticed that some of my close friends were definitely gay, and didn't change my opinion of them, and none of them at that time had ever been with anybody anyway, but they were definitely gay, and so that kind of softened me up a little bit, and I was sort of moving away from being prejudiced against gay people, but I still just couldn't comprehend guys fancying other guys and the things they get up to and blah blah blah. But what happened to me, I suppose, was I think I was about 21 years old, and this would be right around this whole new romantic era at the early 80s, and so I had wild hair, and I used to dress pretty ostentatiously, to say the least. And I was walking down the street one day, and this guy pulled over, and to make a long story short, he propositioned me. It took a while before he got around to it. But when it finally came, I was like, no, thank you very much. And I walked home the rest of the way in a state of sort of shell shock. I was going over in my head, what did I say to make him think that I wanted to suck my dick? I didn't understand. And anyway, then I got home, and my roommates were all out, and I called my friend Lance up and said, can you come around, because I need to have a chat. And by the time Lance got there, he was he was in a jokey mood, and I thought, oh god, I can't talk to him about it because he's going to take the piss out of me, and all that. But he could see something was wrong, and so he got quite earnest with me, and he's like, what's up, and I told him what happened. And he said, normally he's kind of one of my shallower friends, and I wasn't really sure how he was going to take it. But he actually got quite deep on me, which is completely out of character. And he said to me, Paul, do you fancy Michelle Myers? And I'm like, no, I don't. And he's like, well, I think she's the bomb. I'm like, yeah, we've discussed this a million times. And he's like, I know, that's my point. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the hell does that have to do with this? And he goes, I think she's beautiful, you don't. Some guys will fancy her and some guys won't. Some guys will fancy you and some guys won't. That's how it's going to be in your life. And it was so obvious when he said it. I felt really stupid for having any kind of a crisis about it. Because, I went through all this whole, oh my god, I look gay. Even to a gay guy, I look gay. Oh my god, and all that kind of bullshit. But, Lance calmed me right down. And the funny thing is, I got propositioned again about a week later. And, it's happened to me off and on over the years, and I've just come to take that type of thing as a compliment, because quite frankly, if you can be appealing to members of both sexes, you must have something going on, right? But anyway, so when I came to the UK, it seemed to me that this culture was quite a bit more embracing of homosexuals insofar as entertainment was concerned anyways, and And I thought that was interesting, and again, it just helped me sort of soften my views a little bit, because I think there's always a little bit of residual, going on there. But maybe not always, because I think I'm well past it. And I'll tell you what the two final clinchers were. About I suppose 11 years ago, I started my current gig. What I do now is I'm a body piercer, and I think the first time, even though of course you've got latex gloves on, the first time you've ever touched another guy's dick, yeah, it's a bit weird. And I think I was traumatized for the first couple of times I did it. Not traumatized in, oh my God, I'm never going to get over this, but it's right there. And that's a bit weird. It's a bit uncomfortable. But once you get used to the job, it's just another piece of skin. But this is my point exactly. That type of thing. And also one time when I was in a nightclub about 5 or 6 years ago, one of my friends who knew I wasn't gay and who was acquainted with my wife and me kissed me anyway. And I didn't know what to do. But I didn't go ew or anything like that. But neither did I go ooh. So, whatever. It's interesting because, the first thing I noticed was, even though he was like clean shaven, I still could feel his whiskers. And I thought, oh my God, is that what I feel like to women? So, ladies, I admire that, because I could never get used to that. Anyway, so that sort of completely healed me now. I'm there. I don't really mind. If I'm out, for example, and I get hugged in a way which might have made me uncomfortable once upon a time, it doesn't really bother me anymore. I think, yeah, well, thanks, bye, whatever. It doesn't really threaten me. And I think it's really, I've always been for equal rights. Like I say, I haven't, it's never been coming from there. I'm just talking about my own personal homophobia, the actual phobia of guys and other guys, and being seen to be too close to guys without being seen to be gay. And it's like, I think this is where homophobia comes from for a lot of people, is they don't want other people to think that they're gay. And then people get into this argument about latent homosexuality and blah blah blah. I mean, who the fuck am I to say what anyone else has got going on in their head? I have a hard enough time figuring out what goes on in my own head half the time. But I don't know. I just wanted to share my journey a little bit with y'all, and say that we should all treat this issue with a bit more looseness, because people are people are people are people, and we all breathe the same air. Our blood bleeds the same color, and all this division and animosity doesn't serve any rational purpose. So there's my 2 cents worth. This is Paul. And I guess I'm going to get out of here and get myself to bed. Take it easy.